Hey guys, Isabel here. Welcome back to Reeled In. So today is a little bit of a different video. It's the first time I'm actually doing a video of this kind. If you guys have been with me for a while now, you know I am a pretty big Marvel fan. Phase 4 just finished, and in preparation for Phase 5, I'm actually going to be ranking the movies, the MCU movies of Phase 4, and the TV shows, and the Disney Plus TV shows. I've had this plan for a while, and I did want to do it a little bit earlier, like at the end of 2022. However, my personal life got really busy, and I only had time to do it now. But you know what? Better late than never, and I think I'll have fun doing it. That being said, though, this is a disclaimer right now. All of these thoughts that I have, these are just my opinions. My rankings, so they're just my opinions. If you guys have different opinions, that's totally cool. And if you want to share them below, feel free. And this will not include the I Am Groot little mini-series, as well as the two specials, because there's already 15 projects that came out for Phase 4, which in my opinion, as much as I love Marvel, that's too many. You know, hopefully Phase 5 is a little bit more spread out. Again, that's just what I hope personally. And these rankings will be in no particular order. I have a list, and I'm just going to go through the list as I had originally written them down. So the first project I'll be talking about is Moon Knight. Now, I personally liked Moon Knight a lot. I know the very last episode is hit or miss with people. I'm a mythology geek. My very first mythology I started out with was Greek, and then Egyptian mythology, and then it snowballed into Roman mythology. So I did love that aspect, that incorporation into this series. Oscar Isaac is, of course, amazing. The whole cast was amazing. And of course, I can't really speak on this matter, but from what I have seen and heard from other people, they portrayed, the actual country of Egypt pretty accurately. There was no yellow filter. We don't like yellow filters, so I appreciated that. And I'm sure everyone else appreciated that as well. So I'm going to give it a B. A B. It wasn't the best one, but I have a very high opinion of it. Now the next one, very controversial, She-Hulk. I appreciated She-Hulk very much. I was for it until the very last episode, where I don't know if I liked it. I actually don't even know still how I feel about it. I can appreciate it. I know there are some people who love the ending, and I'm glad you do. And if you didn't like it, sorry to hear that. But it did feel chaotic, and I know that She-Hulk in the comics is also chaotic, and I'm here for chaotic characters. But I just feel like there was one or two things that could have been tweaked if you want to keep the ending the way it was and have it feel a little bit less of a mess, personally. That's just my personal opinion. I like the idea. I would even be so bold as to say, if you want your antagonist or whoever just to be the things that women go through, I honestly would have stated that at the beginning. Would you have lost a couple of the haters? Probably, but honestly, you knew what was going to happen with the show anyway. So I will give She-Hulk, I'll give it a C. It's in the middle. Not the best one in my personal opinion, but also definitely not the worst. Now the next one, I guess I'm just doing the Disney Plus shows first, but Miss Marvel, definitely I think made for a little bit younger than my age group, definitely coming of age story, which are always fun to watch. But I honestly liked this show a lot more than I was expecting to. And am I the targeted audience for that show? Absolutely not. But I still loved and appreciated it. And I think it really did a good job with depicting family drama. Sometimes the MCU is a little bit of a hit or a miss with family drama, but I think it did really well, and it's nice to see some support every once in a while. And again, I personally enjoy the fact that we get to explore more cultures in the MCU as well, so I'm not too familiar with Pakistani mythology or folklore or anything like that, so that was a lot of learning for me. Some names I had heard of before, like jinns. So again, it was really cool for me to learn, and definitely I would like to, on my own, learn more about it. So I will probably give this one's it's either a B or a C. And I'm going to put it with a B because I think it was above She-Hulk for me. And I think I enjoyed this show a lot more than I expected to. So now our first movie, which is Spider-Man No Way Home. And my ranking for this is really easy. It's gonna be superior. It is. From the original Tobey Maguire Spider-Man has been my favorite superhero in the Marvel everything pretty much. So, I was a little worried that bringing in Tobey and Andrew, their Spider-Mans, would kind of take away from Tom Holland's Spider-Man, but I think the balance was really well. And in terms of completing like a Spider-Man trilogy, I think this movie did it so well. I think it had a believable ending, and I was heartbroken. It was like bittersweet, and I was heartbroken, but I did love seeing Spider-Man sort of go on this huge journey to come back to being, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. That's kind of always what he was known for, not this like intergalactic, crime fighting, which was all, again, like, it was cool to see. It's cool to see him, do all those things. But in terms of like him as a character learning to sort of act for the greater good, I loved it. And I think there's a rumor that they're going to do more Spider-Mans, whether that just be like strictly Sony or like the MCU. I will be excited to see either of them. Okay, now, Black Widow. Black Widow is a movie. When it first came out, towards the end of COVID, it kept getting pushed back and pushed back. That was a movie I was honestly the most excited to see. I definitely think it should have happened in either like phase 1 or phase 2 of the MCU, but I'm glad we did get it. I personally am going to give it a B, and I feel like I definitely give these movies probably a higher score than they might deserve. But we got Yelena Belova out of Black Widow, so love her character. She's like my top 5 characters for the MCU at the moment. I wish that the movie took itself a little bit more serious. I don't know if this is just like my morbid curiosity, but I really wanted to know like kind of details of what exactly happened in the Red Room, what these ladies went through, instead of just kind of like jokes about what happened. And some of them like were funny, like the fallopian tubes. I got a chuckle out of me. Yeah, and of course, that might just be like their coping mechanism. Everyone copes in different ways. Totally understand that. But again, personally, I just would have liked to see a little bit more like seriousness in it. And I definitely also do think that the Black Widow movie was not only a Natasha movie, but I think was a little bit more of actually a Yelena movie. I feel like all of the big things that happened like because of Yelena. She killed Dreykov. You would think that would be like Natasha. She tried to do it once and failed. You would think that she'd be the one to, do it again and succeed this time, but it was actually Yelena. So I think that definitely sets her up for us, the audience, to know that she has what it takes. She has the skill, the brains. She's got it all, honestly, in my personal opinion. I know this one is also like a 50-50 among fans, but it ranks relatively high on my list just because I wanted it so badly. And now back to the TV shows, Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't even have to think about it. It's an A. It's in the A category. I did not know what to expect when I first started watching this. That's how I mostly go into these movies and shows, is not really expecting too much, just because I'm never really disappointed that way. But I love the show. I love the issues it spoke on. And the main thing I loved about it is it was a consequence of not only the snap, but bringing everyone back from the snap. That's like my one thing with Endgame. And of course, like how much can you fit in a 3-hour-long movie, was that there didn't seem to be much like consequences of bringing everybody back from the snap. And this show depicted the consequences, which I love. Always depict your consequences, guys, if you're writing or whatever you're doing. And just the social issues, I appreciated the attention that it drew to those. Like literally Sam's speech in the last episode, where he's talking about what it is to be like a black man in America, and not only just being a black man in America, but also holding the Captain America mantle and title. I was sobbing the whole time. I'm sure my reaction video is somewhere on this channel, which you can check out. But it got me really hard. So this definitely ranks very high on my list. Now another one that's kind of 50-50 among fans is Eternals. At the moment, I'm gonna give Eternals a D, because I did like She-Hulk better than Eternals, but it's like a high D. Like It wasn't bad. I'll give it that. It wasn't bad. But I also feel like I wish attention was given to some of the other characters. That can sometimes be an issue when you have like a book or a movie or whatever show with all these different characters. Sometimes it can be difficult to choose which characters you want to focus on, and I personally think that the characters that weren't really a main part of the movie should have been a main part of the movie. Like Makari, she was my favorite character, and she had like maybe 5 minutes of screen time. So I wish we got more of her. I did like Thena's character. I did not expect to, but I liked her story. Icarus made me mad. I didn't like him. Cersei, she was all right. She was cool. I didn't really have an issue with her. And of course, some of the other, like Gilgamesh, loved him. I thought he was really cool. Loved his relationship with Thena. But one thing that made me really mad was that Sprite basically betrayed everyone. And then at the end, and I guess that speaks on their character that they all forgave her. So good for them. But again, consequences. I don't know. I feel like she really just got like a slap on the wrist. And I feel like she should have gotten a little bit more. Because she really almost helped like Earth be destroyed. Again, just my personal opinion. So yeah. Now, Shang-Chi is one that when I first saw it was very high on my like top 10 Marvel movie list. But over time, it kind of has dropped a little bit. I do like the storyline a lot. Again, seeing another culture in the MCU, always fun. Especially one that incorporates mythology. As I said, I'm a mythology nerd, so I do love seeing that aspect, even if it is just kind of like inspiration, like it's not the actual mythology. But I think I will give Shang-Chi a C, because I liked it a lot, but it has potential, I think. Awkwafina is also what makes it so high on my list for me. So for Shang-Chi, the second one, I have high hopes for that one, to be honest. Also, in all the movies that I'm depicting, I have my reviews on the channel if you guys want to check that out. And then I have like my reaction videos and some discussions for the TV shows. And now, WandaVision, the first start of Phase 4. I know where it is, superior. I know some people will disagree with that, but I thought it was so clever. Wanda Maximoff, the Scarlet Witch, has honestly, in the short amount of time that she's been in the MCU, has surpassed my love of Spider-Man. She was my number one MCU character. Honestly, she can do no wrong. Like, I was rooting for her in Multiverse of Madness, which is the next one I'll be talking about. But she's always has this tragic storyline, and I hope in the future, if and when we get her back, I just want her to end up happy. Please, like, give me that. But I thought that going through the different decades of sitcom television was a brilliant idea. And not only did it give us great Wanda Maximoff content, but also introduced Monica. And we saw Darcy again. I love Darcy, but honestly, I am very excited for the Marvels, partly because Monica is in there, and I'm really happy to see everyone again. Oh, and also excited for the Marvels because Kamala Khan. I'm excited to see her again too. Now the next one, Multiverse of Madness. This is the one movie that I went into having expectations and therefore was a little bit disappointed. I had to keep reminding myself that this was in fact a Doctor Strange movie and not a Wanda Maximoff / Scarlet Witch movie. And in terms of introducing a character, America Chavez, I don't think they did a good job introducing her character. And I wish they did, because her power seems very intriguing. I would like to know what more she can do with her power. And again, part of the movie is her learning how to control them. So I understand that like you don't have a lot of time to also be like, oh, she can control them, and now this is what she can do with them. So I understand that part. But she did seem like a little bit like a MacGuffin, and I kind of wish she wasn't. And this is also a difficult one for me to place. I think it's a good movie, personally, but I'm hesitant to give it either a B or a C. And I honestly feel like I have to give it, just for my own mental health, I have to give it a B. Which means I don't think I can give any of the other ones a B, but we'll see what happens. So the next one is Loki. My opinions on Loki, it was a 50-50 for me. Personally, I've never really been like, I've never had the biggest obsession with Loki. I know a lot of fans are quite obsessed with him and love him. He was just kind of a character for me, like a fun character. It did introduce, Kang, or a variant of Kang. I'll give its props where it's due, I suppose. And again, because I know it was filmed during COVID, and I think that changed a lot of the aspect of what they wanted to do for the show. I think they'll be doing what they wanted to do in season 2. So again, I have high hopes for season 2. But personally, like, I didn't dislike Loki, but it wasn't my favorite. So I'm gonna put it in the D category, but still a high D. Like, honestly, if I give anything below like a 65, I feel really bad. Like, I really do. But the next one on our list is What If. Now, this is the animated series, exploring different timelines and everything, which I love seeing. I love animation, and it definitely opened up a whole new world for the live action shows and movies to, explore different paths. But I wouldn't even though the B section is kind of full, I wouldn't even give it a B though. I would kind of give it a C. Like, I enjoyed it. Wasn't necessarily my favorite. Because there are some episodes where I just didn't really move me in any way. There are some episodes I loved, of course. But again, yeah, so the show is like 50-50 for me as well. 3 more, because there are 15 projects in this in this phase 4. But the next movie came out relatively recently is Thor: Love and Thunder. I know a lot of people hate on this movie. It was not my favorite. But I feel like I should give credit where credit is due. The first 30 minutes of the movie did not like Thor's starting out character. I didn't like, it kind of felt like he reverted back to the Thor in the very first Thor movie, which I feel like, because I know he's been through so much, and after a while it has to take a toll on someone, but I feel like he wouldn't revert back to that Thor, Just my personal opinion. I do wish we got more of Gore, the God Butcher. I know they shot more scenes, just didn't really put them in. But honestly, Natalie Portman, Jane Foster, she was the highlight of the movie for me. Her storyline and like the ending, I actually loved. And of course, Valkyrie and Korg, like, they also made the movie. I feel like now you can't have a Thor movie without them. But the characterization of Thor, at least where he ended up, I actually liked, because I feel like there are some things he had to relearn, and he definitely did. But again, I just wish he started off in a different place. Personally, you didn't really need the Guardians to be in here. Again, that's my personal opinion. I feel like that's half of the goof. The unnecessary goof, in my opinion, was because they were in there for like the first 10 minutes. But yeah, so that's my opinion on it. And I'm gonna have to give that a D, unfortunately. Now, Hawkeye. I want to put it in the B category, but it's kind of full. We'll see if I can do it. We'll see if this app lets me do it. I enjoyed Hawkeye a lot. I feel like if you're giving all these shows and everything and movies to the original OG Avengers, you have to include Hawkeye. I know some people don't like him. I don't really have an issue with him, to be totally honest, with Hawkeye himself. I think the bow and arrow is a really cool weapon, so I was excited to see more like action to be used with it. Kate Bishop was a character that I was very excited to see her growth. I think I remember my reaction in the first episode. I was like, I can't wait for her to go down a couple pegs so she can be brought back up. But I'm really excited for Kate Bishop's future. I know in the comics she's kind of the leader of the Young Avengers, and if they do something similar in the MCU, I think it'll be really exciting, because I've heard those comics. I haven't read them, but I've heard that they are quite chaotic. And again, I'm here for chaos. And of course, I hope she does have a budding friendship or any other relationship with Yelena. I think they did not do the original Hawkeye and Black Widow pairing of Natasha and Clint justice, even though they're supposed to be this really like knit group, with a very strong relationship. So I hope they do better in regards to these other 2 characters, whatever that may be. So can I fit in the B? Oh, I can. The B just, okay. Sorry, this is my first time using the app. But the last one, Wakanda Forever. Honestly, a masterpiece. Like, I think it's one of those movies where if you knew nothing about the MCU, you would still think it was a good movie. Like it's one of those things that it doesn't have to be associated with the MCU, which I enjoyed. The score for this was phenomenal. Everyone did phenomenal. I mean, Angela Bassett won freaking Golden Globes, as she should. So it's definitely, for right now, I'm gonna give it an A. It has an A. It's not superior just because there were some things at the end that I thought were a little bit weird in terms of like storytelling. Mostly like it felt like there was a little piece missing when Namor and Shuri were like fighting out on the beach. I feel like I personally feel like there should have been like one more scene between them fighting and then them finally being like, actually, let's not fight anymore. And then of course little T'Challa at the mid-credit scene. I still don't know how to feel about that. I appreciate, them having it Chadwick's and original T'Challa's legacy live on. I appreciate that aspect of it. I do like that aspect of it, but again, I do feel like as the movie has been made now and presented, I feel like it was more Shuri's movie and her struggles, her growth, and I kind of thought, like, she is T'Challa's sister, so I kind of thought that, she would become his legacy. Like, that's what I kind of went in with my mind as, in my mind as. To me, I feel like it might have taken away a little bit from that to introduce T'Challa Jr., essentially. Again, that's just my personal opinion. If you guys love T'Challa Jr. and his symbolism, that's great. Again, I still really don't know how to feel about it, so take everything I say with a grain of salt, because again, at the end of the day, these are just my opinions, and if you guys have different ones, that's awesome. But yeah, so this is my lineup. I didn't fail anybody because, I don't know, it makes me sad. And I honestly feel really bad failing anything. Like, if I don't like a movie or anything, I honestly feel so bad that I don't like it. Because I know so many people worked so hard on it, not just the actors, but everyone else behind the scenes. So I always think, everything deserves a little bit of love, in my opinion. But yeah, guys, that was my ranking of Phase 4 of the MCU. Ant-Man Quantumania comes out very soon, in literally a month. Technically, like a day minus a month, pretty much. A month minus a day. A month minus a day. Yeah, that one's the right one. And I'm so excited to start Phase 5. So I'm just so excited. But guys, leave a like on the video. Comment what is your rankings of Phase 4? Or what is your favorite and least movie / TV show of Phase 4? Is it even a TV show anymore if we don't watch it like on TV, like cable, whatever show? And be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss my review on Ant-Man Quantumania when it comes out, as well as other Marvel reaction videos. But guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.